G'day Carbonites, welcome back to Space Engineers Survival Maybe. So in the last episode we did quite a bit of mining to try and get in front, and yeah, I guess we're going to continue doing the same this episode. We're going to be working pretty fast to get the defenses set up. So I want to make sure that we can defend our base before we start doing anything else. So how are we looking on our resources? I'm gonna try and keep that going. Okay, so we got a good stockpile of magnesium. We're gonna need more nickel and more iron. Probably a little bit more silicon as well. No, never mind. We've got enough silicon. That's good. And cobalt will probably need a load of that as well. So that's all from the one mine. That's not too bad. We could do that. But the first thing I wanted to do is, like, we went out yesterday and we got the ice, but we can't actually do anything with the ice at the moment. So what we need is a E02 H2 generator. So let's get that on the hopper. So this will convert the ice into oxygen and hydrogen. Now, if we want to utilize this med bay, we could, if we have this connected, we have the generator connected to the med bay, we'll be able to use the med bay to regain our oxygen and our hydrogen. Now, obviously, the oxygen's not an issue because we're in an atmospheric environment. So there's the conveyor port. We're just going to line those two up, and then I'm going to realize that I need steel plate to actually build that. There we go. So we need steel plate, construction components, large steel tube, computers, and motors. We are not going to have enough. All right. Let's turn the assembly machine on, which is gonna start taking power. While it's when it's turned on, I think this is how much it uses, 1 kilowatt. But when you start producing stuff, it uses this amount. I think that's how it works. All right, let's go to our production. Now we're gonna need a bunch of stuff. What we could do is, if we go to large blocks on the left hand side, we can actually choose the oxygen generator wherever it is in this list. There's no search feature for this. There it is. Okay. All right, let's queue that up. And what we'll do is we'll cancel these steel plates. We don't need that. Okay, so it's not a great deal. Okay, that's good. And then what we might do... Oh, what are we missing? Silicon? I thought we had some smelted. We do not. Alright, do some silicon. Got a little bit of nickel there, but it's not a great deal. Okay, so we got all those. What we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna queue up a bunch of stuff. Actually, that's not the greatest way to do it. Let's put this, we're gonna turn this on, which is repeat mode. So every time it crafts something, it'll put it to the end of the line and then it'll go through the cycle. So we want some of that, one of those. Yeah, we'll just make one of everything for now. All the basic stuff that we're gonna need. And I do want power cells and solar cells as well. So we'll just have it doing that. It'll try to keep up with production, but it's gonna be limited by our refinery. All right, so let's grab these. I I think we needed these as well. And I think we need some more steel plates. Can we build it? More motors. There we go. Okay, so we've got our oxygen generator. It should automatically take the ice. All right, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll just help it out because it seems to be lagging. Oh, obviously. Okay, so these two components, they're not actually connected to the cargo container. So it's not going to grab it. But that's all right. We can easily transfer it over. Okay. And what we can also do, we do have a hydrogen bottle here. Now, we're not going to be needing these oxygen bottles. So what if we disassemble them? I'm going to put them in the inventory of the assembler. And then we're going to go over to production. Flick across to disassembling. And we're going to disassemble one of those. And, oh, two of those. So this will give us back the silver, the nickel, and the iron for those bottles. Now that that's done, we'll go back across to assembly. And we're going to click on character tools. And I'm going to make hydrogen bottles. And I can push those to the front of the list like that. Get those done. So hydrogen is going to be more important to us than oxygen. So it's better that we have these. Now they're going to go to the back of the list again, but we're not going to have any silver to produce them. So we're going to take them off. Okay. So we can grab those. And then put them into the oxygen generator. They'll fill up. And then we can take them back out. And now, down in the bottom left, you can see 3 bottles above our oxygen meter. So that means we can fly around for quite a bit longer now. But it is starting to get pretty dark. I don't want to actually go out. So, at least we've got that done and out of the way. Next, we need to really sort out our power, I think. So we've only got 5 hours left until the base runs out of power at this current rate. So what we could do is get some power efficiency modules on both the assembler and the refinery. That'll save a little bit of power. We're gonna have to... Let's go to our second toolbar. Let's look up efficiency. And what do we need for this? 20 small steel tubes and 40 construction components. I think they're going to be the killers. Need motors as well. We are making some. All right, what we're going to do is go over to production, and I'm just going to queue up a couple more of the items that we need more of, basically. So we'll go. Yep. All right, that will do us for now. Okay, let's get rid of this these table and chairs here. So currently, the refinery uses 560 kilowatts. If we can get a power efficiency module on here, we'll save a lot of power. What's our production stuck on? Oh, we don't have any nickel left. Yeah, that was always going to be an issue, wasn't it? All right, go back to nickel. You've got enough silicon. Oh, this is terrible. And do those first. There we go. Okay. Let's get rid of this too. We don't need that. All right, as soon as it becomes daylight, we're going to go out on an adventure, because before the enemy radar gets too large, I want to go out and get some silver. Silver we can obviously use to make hydrogen bottles, but we can also use it to upgrade our tools. So that's going to be really, really useful. So I want to try and do that as soon as possible. We don't need much either. Let's not go with that one. I think this one's actually cheaper. Yeah. I do want the chair in here because you can check the power of the base. So we're up to 14 hours already. That did really well. Although that's probably the assembler stuck. Yeah, the assembler stuck. Yeah, I'm not producing enough nickel. All right. Well, in that case, we're gonna start digging into the mountain. So we need to expand the base, we need more production. Because we're going to be running out of time. Okay, I think that's enough room. Okay, so we won't be able to make another refinery. The refineries themselves are very expensive. We have a look. So they take 1,200 steel plate. Plus, you know, all the construction components and everything. But we do have another option. We can use the arc furnace. The arc furnace is a lot cheaper. As you can see, it's only 120 steel plate and less construction components, steel tubes, motors, and computers. They are more power efficient, and they actually produce a little bit quicker as well. So we're going to stack them like that. So they're connected to the refinery, and the refinery is all connected to the cargo container. So that's all continuing our loop. Now there is a drawback with the arc furnace, and that is it cannot produce all the ores. Like it can't handle silicon, silver, magnesium. Basically, the only ones it can do are iron, nickel, cobalt, and I think stone as well. That's enough for us. That's all we need them for. They only use 330 kilowatts as opposed to 560. Obviously, they don't have any upgrade ports, so once you get into a position where you can start upgrading your refinery, they're gonna lose their appeal. But for now, they are gonna be perfect for what we need. Okay, 2 arc furnaces up and running. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get both of them producing nickel. Let's go with 6,000. Okay, so nickel actually takes a long time to actually process, so that's why it's lagging behind. Iron's very quick to produce. So if we have three refineries, well, 2 arc furnaces and 1 refinery working on it, can we actually produce these at a steady rate now? We're keeping up with production. No, not for the solar cells. They take 10 nickel each. But it looks like the motors are okay. They only take 5 power cells. Power cells only take 2. Okay, that's good. All right, that's good. That's sped up production. Let's get a floor out here, and we can start sorting out what we're going to do with this place. So the idea of building into the mountain is we'll be protected when the drones come. I'm going to use my jetpack here. Dug that quite deep. When the drones come over to ruin our day, if we're inside a mountain, they can't really attack much at the base. They'll only be able to attack the entrance. Should have welded those up first. Although I probably shouldn't be spending the steel on flooring. Just want to do that so I can put these down here. So we're going to travel back into the mountain a little bit further. I'll try and keep placing the floor as I go so I don't do what I did there and dig really, really deep. So I'm going to do a little bit more digging and then I'll see you guys when I'm all done. Alright, so you want to be careful when you're drilling around framework and, well, structures in general, because your drill can actually damage them, and when they're in this state here, they're very brittle. Just one click with the drill will make them explode. And yeah, it's not very good. It makes quite a loud bang as well, so it always freaks me out. Alright, so we're making a bit of progress in here. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with this space. Let's double check our production. It's stuck on something that requires iron. So we're out of iron now. So let's change our refinery over to do iron. Still got a decent bit of silicon. Something we should do is actually check the power usage now. Now that everything's running, we've got 3 hours left. Okay, well in that case, let's see if we can extend the life of our batteries by... This is the assembler, isn't it? If we can put some power efficiency modules on here, we'll save even more power. So these smaller yellow squares, they're the upgrade ports. You need 2 ports per upgrade module. So the assembler has 2 on the top here. There's 2 on either side, and then there's also 2 underneath, but we won't be able to get to those because it's sitting on the refinery. But we can definitely put 2 in here. Alright, production, you're not held up by anything? No, okay, looking good. Beautiful. Alright. We're making stuff. We're making progress. Beautiful. Alright, we got 2 on there now. Let's have a look. It still says 4 hours, but that's alright. We know it's benefiting it. Let's have a look at the assembler. Down to 250 kilowatts, just with 2 modules attached to it. Beautiful. Alright, I'm happy with that. Now there's no downside to using those. Like, they don't slow down production or anything. It's really good, actually. Alright, so we've got a bit of room in here now. The first thing I think we should do is actually move these 2 items that we have here, the oxygen generator and the med room. Medical room. If we can get rid of those 2, there's actually 2 more ports here that we could use for upgrade modules. I'm going to leave 1 more space for another arc furnace, just in case, and then I think we'll put the medical room and the oxygen generator in here. So let's make a bit more room. Okay, medical room. I think we're gonna orientate this with the oxygen generator in mind. So possibly like that. No, that's terrible. Won't be able to access it, will we? No, we can. There'll be a port on the other end. Yep, so we don't have to access that port there. So if we place that like that, yeah, this will be fine. Alright, we'll put that down. And let's get our oxygen generator sitting up on top. So the port's right in the middle there. Just make sure that's lined up. It is. Beautiful. And now we're going to have to grind that down and grind that down. Both of which, well, the medical room's really, really heavy. We'll need to take the ice out of here. And we'll just store it in here for now. So what happens if you grind down an object that has stuff in it? Well, the stuff gets spawned into the world, and nearly 9,000 kilos of ice being spawned in my base is not going to end well. Alright, let's transfer everything over to this one. Grind this down. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. I could have turned the HUD on to see how full I was, but I didn't want to. Okay, so the reason why I took that easy is because if your inventory is full, when you grind something down, you won't be able to get all the resources back, so it'll just spawn it in the world. And then you run the risk of grinding down the resources or it doing damage. There we go. So let's grab our ice. We'll put it back into the generator. Now power is all transferred through the base, like any blocks that are connected will transfer power, so everything's still powered. It's fine. All right, looking good. Now we've got rid of that. We've got access to these 2 ports. Let's make the most of that. I'll get these 2 on here. Need small steel tubes and construction components. Surprise, surprise. Oh, we got a decent stockpile though. Just need some small steel tubes. Okay. There we go. How's the refinery looking now? Down to 167 kilowatts. Beautiful. And how's the power looking? 5 hours. Okay, beautiful. So we've managed to increase our production by like 3-fold. And we're on the same amount of power we were on at the start of the episode. That is beautiful. Okay. I'm happy with that. The next thing I think we should work on is actually getting some more power, because these 2 solar panels are not going to be able to provide enough power for our base. So in my previous attempts, I tried to build solar towers up on top of the mountain. And the reason why I put them up on top of the mountain is so they could utilize the sun for longer, basically, because they would catch the sun faster than what we will down here in the valley. But there's a problem with that. It takes a lot of resources to build blocks all the way up there to connect it to the base, and if you leave them in wireframe, you run the risk of it being blown up by like one stray bullet. It also lags the game as well if you have unwelded blocks. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to follow in Splitsie's footsteps and actually build a tower out here, because it's a lot closer, and at least then we can get power running straight away. And then later on, my main goal is to have a couple of towers up there, but they're not going to be connected to the base. What I want to do is have removable batteries on there. So when we want to recharge our base, we fly up there with a ship, we pick up some batteries, bring them down here, and we discharge all the energy into our base. When they're empty, we pick up the batteries, put them back up on the solar panels, and yeah, it's definitely not efficient at all, but I think it would be a lot of fun. And then later on, I was thinking we could probably even automate the process and have a autopilot drone that flies up there, collects it, and brings it back. I think that'd be really cool. So we've got plenty of hydrogen. We've got steel. Let's I think we're just gonna go blocks. We had two We had 2 steel plates. We've actually smelted all the iron that we had as well. So guess what we're doing tomorrow? We're going out to get some more iron. I do really want to get that silver tomorrow as well. All right, let's come out further because I don't want to get too close to this mountain here. And give ourselves a little bit of room. And obviously we don't want to go too far because we'll have to build a support beam down. Not that it needs it. I mean, this will support it. It just looks funny. I'd rather give the illusion that it's being supported from here. So how far away is that? It's not bad. And then plus we're going to be building it up pretty high. So yeah, I think this is good. Let's run these blocks down. Oops. Alright, that'll do for now. The gas you're seeing leaking from the base, there's a weird bug at the moment. That every now and then you'll get like an animation that the base is being depressurized. And I'm not sure what causes it. It's quite irritating. No, get back here. I might actually try turning off the pressurization system. See if that gets rid of it. Yeah, I don't mind playing without pressurization. Just means we have to use oxygen bottles no matter what. Alright, how tall is this? That's 8. If we go, each solar panel is 4 blocks tall. I want to get 2 rows on there. So we need 8 blocks just for clearance, 9 blocks to be safe, and then we'll put our rotor on the top. And we'll orientate it, yeah, this way. Okay, now we will need to weld that up. So then that way the rotor gets power and it'll use that power to generate torque so it doesn't flop around under its own weight, because we're going to start building off the sides of this. And the more, if we, make it lopsided, then it'll start spinning around and then it makes it really hard to build on top of it. So let's make a little T intersection. For those that don't know what I'm currently doing, Splitsie did this in his series. He made this solar tower and he ran a script on it, which it tracked where the sun was and it automatically orientated all the solar panels to face the sun. It's really, really clever. The guy who makes the script is Izzy, and Izzy has a lot of really cool scripts on the workshop. We'll go through it later after after we get this thing up and running. So I'm just spinning them around so 0 is up the top for no apparent reason. It's just it'd make me feel better. Before we do that, let's weld these up as well. We're gonna need more motors. This one as well. Just motors, that's all we need. All right. nice. Motors are going to come in handy when we start making like a mining ship and all that sort of stuff. All the cool stuff requires motors. Beautiful, we've got that. And we've got that one there. Okay, and then we're going to go to half blocks. Now each solar panel is 2 blocks wide, so I'd like to fit 3 on each side. So what have we got there? 1, 2. Okay, so we can get rid of this one and change it for the ending cap. We can always expand it later on, but just for now, I think 3 on each side would be suffice, I think. Yep, okay. So, currently it's very flimsy because it's all in wireframe, but it'll be right. I hope. Okay, solar panels. Now these are very expensive to make. The solar cells, it needs 64 solar cells. Now before the script will even work, we need at least 1 solar panel on each side. So that's what we're going to aim towards. We could even remove these ones and put them straight up there, which wouldn't be a bad idea actually. Gotta be careful because the solar cells are very heavy. Oh, we've got them all. Nice. And that looks like we're full. Alright, let's put everything into this one. Yeah, we definitely need to upgrade the tools. Oh my god. Awesome. So there's our vertical rotor. Rotor, actually let's label this properly. Base. So I always do what it is, where it's located, or what objects what grid it occupies, and then what it does basically. So vertical solar tower. Okay, and then let's select all that, copy it, paste, and this one is horizontal. And I'm just going to label this rotor 2. Okay, now we need to make a group. So the script requires all the rotors it's going to be handling to be in a group called solar rotors. And then that way it knows exactly which rotors it's going to take control of, and everything should be good. So we've got that set up. Next, we need a programmable block. This is how we run the script. Beautiful. Now let's go into it. Let's rename it. So PB for programmable block. It takes up less space. And then our grid that it's attached to, which is the base, and then what it does. And it's going to be solar alignment. Okay, go into edit, and this is where we run our script. Browse the workshop. These are all the scripts that I have subscribed to. There's Izzy's solar alignment script. We're going to click on OK. And then you can, most scripts will allow you to change settings in here. Most of the script writers, they do a good job of explaining what needs to be changed and what you can do with it and all that sort of stuff. So there's our group that we need. We could actually change the name of that if we wanted to, which is really cool. So we don't need any of that. We're going to leave that all on. Leave all that on. We will need this later on when we get an LCD screen. We can actually output data onto it from this script, which would be handy. But for now, I think we're just going to leave this how it is. Anyway, after you're finished editing it, check code, which compiles it basically, and then remember and exit. And then we can see down here that it's running, it's aligned. We can see how much we're outputting. So we're generating 44 kilowatts worth of power, which is 95% of the capacity. And there's our statistics for the batteries that we have. We currently have not a great deal of power. Oh no, it says we do have quite a bit of power. We're 77% power. We're not putting very much power into it though. Alright, so if we have a look at that, because it's most likely getting sun, it's already started to align them. And I've put one of them upside down. Like an idiot. Damn it. It's gonna bother me, so I need to fix that. I might actually just pause the script while I do that, because I'm not sure how it's gonna feel if I take one of the solar panels off, seeing as there's nothing else on there at the moment. Or we could see if we've got enough solar cells to put another solar panel on there, which we do. So let's grab as many of those as we can. So we need to utilize those as best we can. There's no point them sitting in the cargo container. I think we might do it like this. So that's the one I'm going to change. We're going to need all of those. Might be able to get this done just before sunrise. Well, I guess it already is sunrise, but it hasn't peaked over the mountain yet. I can't wait till we upgrade our tools. The jetpack's really, really touchy. That's why I'm constantly going backwards and forwards. Alright, let's grab some more solar cells. Nice. Okay, so there's enough for one more. Which one did we do? Yeah, it was the middle one for some reason. Damn, we need a computer. So we tripled our power input. We tripled our all processing power, and we made as many things as we could more power efficient. So I think we did a pretty good job. Put the rest of the stuff I've got into these. So they're ready to go. All they're waiting for is solar cells. And that is the end of the episode. So, I think that was a very productive night, in my opinion. We're sitting in a really good position. That has been one full day so far. What an amazing view. That's the moon up there, and I think that's an alien planet. And we can actually go to those places. Like that's amazing. Obviously not yet. It's going to be a lot longer down the road before we can do that. But yeah, really pretty game. Alright guys, that is going to do it for the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying the series. As always guys, don't forget to lead your targets, and I'll see you next time.